Hello, my name is Ruby, and today I'm going to be talking about self love, I guess. And this all started with a thought I had yesterday about how, I don't know if it's still real, but maybe it is actually. Um, there was a thought that I didn't like being myself. And like, I'm reading books about love and this and that. And I do love myself, to my understanding. And I'm also learning, like, my ability to love others is a reflection of my ability to love myself. And the way that I love myself, I have to go back and look at what I was shown or taught about love from a child, like via my parents, the most, like, intimate, I guess, first intimate relationships that you have coming into this experience. And what made me think that I didn't like being myself because I thought about all the things that I grew to accept. And there was a point in time where I didn't like that I grew up poor. I didn't like that I didn't have, yeah, I have people like my godparents, they definitely went above and beyond as far as like providing things that my parents couldn't provide. So um, I don't want to take away from anybody else's experience who grew up with less than I had, but I didn't like growing up, quote unquote, poor. I didn't like that I didn't have consistent parents or stable parents or just mentally sound parents. I didn't like that about myself. I didn't like my story just moving around a lot. And then just the traumas from my parents and their stories, how that related to me and their family. Um, I didn't like um I didn't like the anxiety that I had. Like there were things that I was just very judgmental and very critical of who I was and the story that made me and what I had, and even some of the side effects of things that I couldn't even control. Like if you grow up in a house with a lot of commotion and moving parts and people moving in and out and stuff, you are bound to have issues with stability and anxiety and things like that. And it's just like I'm mad at myself for having anxiety when if you put a little kid in an environment like that, that's just bound to happen. Like I just had to I'm learning, self-compassion and giving myself grace as a part of self-love. So hopefully this video is like full circle as to how I had to go through all that to come back to my original self and just love it or accept it. That's something that I've been, sifting through recently. Um, but looking back at the tools that I was given or the displays or the models that I had, not only of just love for me, but just self love in general. Have I ever seen someone do or love themselves in a way that I'm learning or reading about? Um, and so giving myself grace, like you didn't know, like you didn't know. Like when I was 16 and I did what I did or said what I said or whatever, or reacted the way I reacted, it wasn't because I should have known better and this and that. Like that's what I did, what I knew. Like my reaction was based on the tools that I had or didn't have. And so just learning to accept me. And one thing that was always confusing growing up is that I got a lot of attention from teachers, from like family friends, from just outsiders who really were like fans of me. Like they really like would go out of their way to do nice things for me or see me. And I used to be so confused. Like, why do they like me so much? Why do they care so much? Like, I just would be confused. Not realizing like I'm a vibe. Like, I was a vibe then. And I'm a vibe now. Like, you don't have to have, I made a video. You don't have to be perfect to be happy, right? And so you don't have to be all these things that you see on TV to be likable, to be enjoyable. Just me being me was enough with all that I came with or didn't have. And so even in high school, in college, like it would be weird when I would hang out with someone and then they'll be like, "Oh, do you want to be my best friend?" Or they wanted to be friend, or they would start inviting me to things or to their family's house or important events, and I'm like, "Why do they want me to come? Like, I don't even do nothing." Like, and then even going into college, post college, I'm someone who likes to hang out with people older than me. Like, we just vibe, and I think it's because I had to grow up early, so I feel like are just a little more mature. So like some people who are my age who don't have much life experience, sometimes the conversation can just be a little, it's not as stimulating as it is talking to older people who have more life and have been through things. But this one friend, she used to be around a lot of important people, and I would go to the events with her, but I would not talk, barely. Every now and then I would say something, but they would keep saying, like, bring Ruby back. Where's Ruby? Are you and Ruby coming? And I would say, why do they want me to come? I'm not even saying anything. Or if I did say something, like, I didn't see the value in it. I'm like, why do people like me? Even you, like, why do you like me so much? Why do you want me to come with you to these events? I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I'm getting it now. Like, I think I'm just cool, and I think I just have good energy in the small things that I do say. I think that they have more, I don't know, they hit more than I expect. Or like sometimes I think that what I have to say sometimes is like nobody wants to hear it, is too much or too deep, because I do analyze things a lot, or I do come up with perspectives that might come across like deeper than what most people are talking about. And so I don't know. I think people value it more than I give credit for. And so that's why I have this YouTube where I'm just talking about the things that I probably before thought like nobody wanted to hear. And so that level of just, I guess, uncovering that I am, I don't want to say desirable, but yeah, I am desirable, like without all the things that I felt I needed to have to be desirable. Um, Growing up, my parents got divorced when I was like 8, 7, something like that. But my dad was in jail from like 5 to 8, so he wasn't really there. And then when he got out of jail, he was just inconsistent. He was the type of dad, he just showed up when he wanted to. So my dad would show up on the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. I won't see him till from December to August. Won't hear from him, whatever. Then he pops up for a week in the summer, and then he disappears until Christmas again. Like, he just was very inconsistent. And my mom, we lived in the same house, but she was emotionally not available, and just honestly, it was like we lived in the same house, but she was just living her life. And so I don't feel like they paid attention to me. And so when other people were doing it, it was just hard to receive, because I'm like, my own parents aren't, and why are you? And so, yeah, I didn't like that. And I also didn't like them for that. I didn't like that. I'm like, this teacher should not be doing this for me. You should be doing this for me. Or your cousin or your brother or your sister shouldn't be doing this. This is your job. And so as I've, grown up and did my healing and stuff, I've definitely learned to forgive them. And honestly, I don't even think I could last 5 minutes in any of their lives as what they went through as children growing up. So they were just doing the best with what they had. I'm doing the best of what I have. And I'm grateful for all the sacrifices that they made, and protected me from. Even when my dad just staying away for those months, you protected me from that many months of being exposed to you. So thank you. um, and even with my mom, everybody just did their best. We all have our own stories. And when I have kids, if I have kids, or even the people that I interact with now, the times that I mess up or fall short, like, I promise you, I have nothing but good intentions. I'm just trying to live this life, okay? I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. This is my first time being 26. This is my first time just being me in this realm. And so I'm learning to have compassion for myself. And I think that is the start of like self-love, like just softness, being gentle. I wear bracelets that I made. I don't have that one on, but I made one that says gentle, just a reminder to be gentle with myself, because I did grow up being like hyper critical of myself, or being hard on myself, and just having high expectations for myself. And so sometimes I'm being hard when I don't need to be hard. Now is the time to be soft. I do think there is a level of just like dignity and pride that is necessary, but it should be balanced out with like compassion and kindness. And I think that will go a long way, not just for myself, but for others. And I think compassion just takes the edge off sometimes. But I don't think, there has to be balance. Like being too understanding and too caught up, I don't think that that's good either. So I guess finding the balance. And I think that I am learning to take some of the edge off. And loving myself is accepting myself, accepting all the things I have and all the things I don't have. And one of the things that I learned is that it was easier for me to quote unquote love other people or show up for other people, but it was hard to let them do it to me or for me. And I think that sometimes going above and beyond for other people so much is a way to avoid doing it to yourself. Like driving here up and down the road to help your siblings out or this person out and going above and beyond, and you're doing it because you love the person. But a lot of times the people who are too like people pleasing or too involved in like helping everybody else, they are the people who don't feel that they have that for themselves. So that's why they want to do it for other people. It's not like an obligation or they feel like they have to, like, no, I want to do this for you. I want to. And I think that doing that is good. Like, we need people like that, but there should be balance in that same amount of energy that and effort that you put into showing up for someone else, making sure you show up for yourself, and the understanding that you can have for people who do you wrong. Give that understanding to yourself when you mess up or when times get hard or when you're by yourself and it's just you and you. And what do you feel, what do you see, what do you sense when you look in the mirror? Like, how do you feel about yourself? And it's all easier said than done, like all things in life, but I do see the benefit. I just think life is a little bit lighter when you have that self-love. I don't want to keep calling it self-love. When you just have the feeling of just appreciation for yourself and acceptance for yourself. And um I realized that I hold myself to a standard as far as like quote unquote being whatever your definite or my definition of a good person is. And so one thing is that I always want to make sure that I am balanced. Like if I'm doing something and like I could feel so right about it, but if it is quote unquote wrong or like too harsh or whatever, like I look for people to correct me, or I just look for like balanced perspectives because I know that I'm not God, I'm not this all-knowing, you know. But because I know some people who are like, narcissistic. It's all about them and how they feel and this and that, and I don't want to fall into that side of it. But there is like appreciation and just being confident in yourself and what you have to offer. And so I do, if I look at it, like I have a lot to offer. Like if I had a friend like me, like I won. I won. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously. And I do have friends who are like me or better than me as far in some ways. Like they have things that I have something that they don't have as much of, and they have things that I don't have as much of, and we just balance each other out and it all works out. But I would say just being nice to yourself, being kind to yourself, paying attention to when you are overextending yourself, like when you are doing that favor for someone, like how you feel at the end of it. If you're just already tired and someone texts you and you're just about to go to bed and they're like, hey, I need you to do this tomorrow morning. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. Love yourself enough to get that extra rest. Love yourself enough to tell your sister, I don't got you. I don't have gas money for you this time. Not this time. Last time I had it. Or if someone's asking for something, like you don't always have to just answer because you love them. You gotta love yourself too, and you just evaluate the toll that is taken on you. So yeah, I just had to learn to accept myself because I realized like I didn't like even my anxiety. I didn't like that. I didn't like um when I started having dreams about stuff. I was like, God, I'm already struggling to be normal. Now you're giving me these dreams. Now I'm dreaming about people that passed away I never met before. I really didn't like that. I was struggling to accept that, but it would just be weird. Like I'll have a dream about something. I would have a dream about something, and it would happen, and it would just happen like and over. So it got to the point where it was undeniable that there was something or is something. Um, but I didn't want to accept that. I was like, I don't know what this means. The responsibility of that. I was just like, it was hard. That made me not like myself even more because I started to think I was weird or like a freak or something or just crazy. Um, and then um, there are certain qualities that I don't like about myself. And I think too, it's a good like it's good that I don't like it because I think getting complacent isn't good. So one of those qualities would be discipline. Like I'm disciplined enough to, but I could be so much more. Like as far as with my fitness, being more consistent with my running, being more consistent with my eating, my diet, like those things. I don't think I'm supposed to like, yeah, have compassion and stuff, like you're tired and stuff, but at the same time, no, I need to get that together. Like there's no excuse. Like, and they say if you do how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so I feel like that mastering discipline will get me far. Because if I made it this far with the 75%, when I get to 100% or 90% or whatever the norm is, or where I'm supposed to be, the benchmark, I think that it will take me to places I could not have imagined. Um, so yeah, just accepting those parts. Even like I made a video about me not having a boyfriend, um, ever. Me, my mom passing away. I'm like, great, another part of the story that's just messed up that I'm attached to. Like, um, my finances, my job. Like, didn't. I don't know. I wasn't vibing with it, but I thought about it. Like, what would life look like? Imagine how it would feel if I was okay. It just takes the edge off. You would just accept it. Even with your parents, it's just like you hold these grudges against them, but imagine if you hold the grudge because you think that it should be something other than what it is. They should be someone other than who they are. They should be more reliable. They should be more responsible. They should be X, Y, and Z. But if you let go of who they should be and you don't have anything to compare it to and just accept them for who they are, then you could just work with it. Accept it. I think acceptance is like the biggest act of self love, like being aware, accepting, and just nurturing. Um, Sometimes, and if you don't know where to start, think of someone that has shown you love in your life, and you might not understand why. What are the things that they did? Did they encourage you? Okay, well, start encouraging yourself. Did they hug you? Well, start hugging yourself. Did they think about you? Well, start thinking about yourself more. Whether it be a person, whether it be your favorite movie, there are examples out there on where to start or how to start. Um, and it's a daily practice. And guess what? On the days that you mess up, one thing about love is it don't change. There's no like conditions like I can only love you if you're doing this and that. No, that's okay. Grace, compassion. It is what it is. You might have did something really bad. You might have really messed up, but you can still be deserving of love. You can ask for forgiveness and you can forgive others. I seen this thing on YouTube and it was talking about how forgiving people is really just understanding that you don't know the whole picture. Like we are all just souls. So it's not saying that whatever was done to you isn't painful. It's saying that even what was done to you, it was not intentional to you. It is just it's just a reaction to someone else's inability to deal with life or cope with whatever the situation brought about. And so if the situation is someone said something really hurtful to you. It's not that you are deserving of hurtful things. It's just like they didn't know how to control those emotions inside of them with whatever tools, whatever childhood trauma. So that's on them. If somebody betrayed you, somebody just isn't treating you well, even if someone is actively not treating you well, and this is someone that you cannot escape via you have a kid with them, via you're related to them, via it's your boss or whatever the case may be, it's just a reflection of their own inner world, their own inner mess. It's not about you. Like, we're all just walking worlds out here, so we all have our own stuff going on, and we just interact with other people. And so learning not to take things personally, it's easier said than done, but once you master it, I feel like it'll just take the edge off and life will be a lot lighter. And the more you give yourself grace, it'll be easier to extend that to other people. Now, I'm not saying don't have boundaries. I think boundaries are important, and when someone crosses your boundary, making sure you take the necessary steps to, let them know that we don't do that. Because if you have a boundary and someone crosses it and there's no expectation, it's not a boundary. It's just a statement, but there has to be consequences to boundaries being crossed. And so, yeah, that's a part of love too. Like, loving yourself enough to have boundaries, but also understanding, like, I don't want to say be reasonable with your boundaries. Like, yes, they're to protect yourself, but don't put up too many walls where you're just keeping people out, or you are isolating yourself from things like, oh, nobody can get close to me. Nobody, like, that's just a bit excessive. But it's a case by case situation. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. I'm learning to accept me. All of it. The good, the bad. And you'll be lucky to come across someone in your life who sees all of it. They seen you on your worst days, and they're still there. And you'll have friends who will be by you, family members. You'll come across people in your life who are reminders that you are deserving of love, and that it's not about what you do, but about who you are. And if you realize, like, all of us have love inside of us, I think that is the whole purpose of this whole human experience. And so being able to recognize the love in ourselves and the love in others and the innocence of the soul that we have, like, it just, I don't know. And when you can see that in someone and they see it in you, I feel like you just create a connection or can create a beautiful experience. Whereas sometimes I think our egos tell us, like, I am Ruby Mullen and I am this, and this is Sheila Jackson and she is this. And so we get caught up in the stories of who we are and the backgrounds, and it is just like we're basing our relationships off of the storylines versus off of this, just the connection. And if you take the stories away, we're just two energy beings here trying to give and receive love and experience it and just help humanity evolve and just connect. And so, yeah, if you're lucky enough to have someone in your life who has been there for you in your ugliest times, in your darkest time, who's been consistent with you even when you messed up, give them a hug. Just send them a text, a reminder. And if you're that for someone else, like, keep up the good work, because we need more people like that who are here, because there are some people who are just so traumatized that they are just selfish and they're here to just feed their voids that, happened through childhood or whatever. And so to those people, those are the people we need to have boundaries against. And but at the end of the day, in the terms of forgiveness and stuff, it's just like we can't take it personal. Like, it's just like they're just, you know. And so there's good, bad, yin, yang, black, white, light, dark, in the world. And so for all the light people out there, let's balance this world out, because it's kind of crazy out here. There are people that you should protect yourself from. Like I said, like, I'm not saying just be forgiving everybody or forgive everyone, but I'm not saying just, don't have boundaries and just keep having too much grace. But please accept yourself. And I always in my videos would be kind, loving, and caring to yourself and others. And when I first heard that, my friend used to say that, like, that wasn't very kind. Be kind, loving, and caring. Like, and I used to think that that was such like elementary verbiage. Like, why are we saying be kind, loving, caring? But if you think about it, that's really like the key to life. Like, be kind to yourself. Be loving, like, be loving. The way you would treat a baby or someone that you love or something that you care about, be loving and be caring. Handle things with care. Handle people with care. Handle situations with care. Confront conflict with care. A lot of times you could have something to say and it could be the truth, but if it's not delivered with care, then that thing turns out to be a weapon. It turns out to be the opposite of what you intended for it to be. So handling things with care, handling people with care, especially the ones that you love. I think that's a misconception, like, or misunderstanding. Like, sometimes the people that are closest to you, they get I don't want to say the least of you, but it's just like, you think about your sister, for example, or like sometimes with kids, you'll see like they'll treat their friends better than they treat their siblings, or your loved one might get to see when you lash out at them, it's a different level of harshness versus if they got frustrated with someone at work or someone outside of the house. And so it's an honor, in my opinion, to be able to see the worst of me, and to be able to see the best, because they also are getting, a loving side of you that the outside world doesn't have access to. But just making sure that we are handling conversations with care, we're handling conflict with care, because that is a part of love, like care. And so, yeah, be kind, loving, and caring to yourself and to others. And I do think that will help make the world a better place, or your individual world a better place. So I'm trying to bring it back, y'all. In terms of loving yourself, accepting your story for what it is. Don't think it should have been anything other than what it is right now. This is what you have to work with. How can you take care of this story that you have, of this character? Okay, she's been through this, she's done this. This has happened to her, whether it was good or bad. And what can I do to pour love into this person? And if it is, I have to eat better, then start eating better. If it is, okay, I love her enough to help her meet new people, so just start doing things that'll make you social. Just look at all the areas of weakness or things that you aren't happy with, that you see that you can improve, and just do one thing a day to get you one step closer, or maybe two things. But yeah, you just gotta love yourself enough to get out the funk, and love yourself enough to talk to yourself like you love yourself. Like, you can't say you love yourself, but you cussing yourself out, calling yourself stupid. I used to do that. I used to be like, it's crazy. I seen this thing and it said, if you talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself, you probably wouldn't have no friends. And that's true. Like, let's say I did something or whatever, and I was just upset at myself. I'm like, oh my God, why would you do that? Of course I would just be so mean. And I realized, like, that's not cool. Like, no, we don't do that here, because what you do to yourself, you will accept from others. And that was something that I learned growing up. My mom was very harsh with her words, not just to me or like only to me, mainly to her partners, but it was something that, in her siblings. So that was something that I just learned, I guess, how to communicate when you are frustrated. You're just thinking of all the worst things you can say and the meanest things. And a lot of those things don't even be true. Sometimes it's true-ish, and it's just not said with care, but sometimes it's just mean. It's just downright mean, and you're just looking for a reason to beat yourself up or to be mean to yourself. And even when other people are mean to you, you probably got a whole script on how they ain't shit and this and this and this, when the reality is not that they're not worth anything. It's they made a mistake, or, So anyway, accept yourself, accept your story, love yourself, take steps to move in the direction that you want to go. And as you pour into yourself, watch your outer experience in the world around you start to change and start to become more loving. So, on this note, be kind, loving, and caring to yourself and others. Bye.